There's often a very big confusion around at address, in particular around the idea of kind of having pressure or weight on the heels to the heels being connected to the floor. So absolutely in no way are we saying at address kind of weight back on the heels anyway. This is to kind of give the context of that heel connection or having the heels connect on the floor are hugely influential around the stimulation of many areas, in particular kind of rotations through the thorax, the spine, and also in that kind of very loose definition then almost idea of activation and control through the pelvis. So the heels in many ways are connected. For example, our center of gravity goes kind of through the ear, the shoulder, hip into the heel. The heel is the densest part of the foot, so the kind of the tibia and fibula loosely kind of go into the ankle, into the heel. So it's also the kind of the largest kind of load absorber we have in the foot. But certainly when we connect to the golf, having heel connection, be very precise, we have equal pressure on either the inside and the outside of the heel. So once again, there's equal pressure on the inside and outside. They often say, for example, when we have these over everted, these over kind of pronated ankles in feet, there's too much pressure on the inside, or vice versa. These inverted, these supinated kind of ankles and feet, respectively, there's too much pressure on the outside. So having that kind of even pressure either side of that heel at address. And once again, just having that idea set up, we have heel connection. It's absolutely not weight on the heel, which is completely not what we're saying. It's just in that kind of start position, we have the heels connected to the floor. And that then really starts to stimulate and start to motivate then two very important kind of systems within golf. The idea of it's very hard to get true rotation through the spine without heel connection. So when we kind of walk, for example, our gait cycles, as we get heel connection, it's when we then achieve maximum thorax rotation in the opposite direction. So for example, when we walk, once again, when I get heel connection straight of my heel, it's also at the same time we then get maximum or thorax rotation through that thoracic spine. And also to get true glute control, to get true glute activation and pressure into the hip joint, pressure into the pelvis, pressure into the lumbar spine, once again, we need that kind of heel connection to then drive and stimulate kind of the idea of kind of pelvis and glute activation or pressure. In so many ways, areas such as, common, very informal definitions in golf, the idea of kind of lack of balance, reduced or constrained rotation, kind of poor control of the pelvis. What we look for are these threads that connect and then almost encourage many of these kind of systems to happen. One of the real drivers of rotation, balance, control of the pelvis is just being mindful at address that the heels are on the floor. So often what we can see in many players is the kind of heels are disconnected for many reasons. For example, things like shoe design, how the shoe kind of fits with, for example, the shape and the structure of the foot, concepts, how we hold at address, for example, all these areas we can look at. So we're certainly looking at, say, areas to improve rotation, improve kind of pelvis control, look at kind of balance. Some areas we can look at is to ensure at address we've got equal pressure both either side of the inside and outside of the heel, and the heels are on the floor. It's not kind of weight back in any way. So having that kind of heel on the floor, equal pressure either side, connections to the heel can hugely help areas such as rotations through the spine, control on the pelvis, and also balance as far as then how we move.